Okay, we're live. So Travis, tell me a little bit about yourself real quick.
I am Dr. Travis Langley, professor of psychology at Superherologist on Twitter, best known as the author of the book Batman and Psychology, A Dark and Stormy Night, the editor and head nerd of the herd on a series of other books looking at popular culture, especially comic books and anything heroic.
So I have one question for you, and the question is this. Now, over the course of the past year, I've seen you pop up in newspapers when Bill Finger had his name put on a street in New York. I have your Wonder Woman book that I have listened to an audio version of, and you popped up on the AMC series, the comic.
Robert Kirkman's
Right.
Secret History of Comics.
So you're kind of well versed in the history of comics on different levels. It's not just psychology; it's also the history.
Right.
So what is the one thing that you've discovered in the course of the past couple of years that has stuck in your mind or has surprised you about the comic book industry in general?
Oh, I know what leaps in my mind. It's what has surprised me the most is how mixed people. You're gonna have to learn editing. Ha!
I know. Sorry.
Well, that becomes humorous, I guess. What has surprised me the most is how mixed people's feelings are about Stan.
Okay.
There's a variety of views on Stan Lee. People adore Stan Lee. People curse Stan Lee. I tend to think well of him. Stan Lee, who wrote the foreword to Daredevil Psychology, The Devil You Know, and a previous book for me. I think very highly of Stan. Stan was making sure the colorist and the letterers and the artist were known at a time when other comic books didn't tell you who was working on the comic. Stan was trying to make sure everybody was a star. And yes, the biggest fan of Stan Lee seems to be Stan himself at times. But Stan gave a voice throughout Marvel Comics at a particular time, and he helped tie things together with his particular vision. Jack Kirby, you can't have it without Kirby. So critical. But if you've read comics that Kirby clearly, completely plotted and scripted himself, you can see the difference too. So Stan has his place. He's important. That's to me was the biggest surprise. Was learning how mixed the feelings are about Stan.
Okay, now real quick, since you mentioned Kirby and Steve Ditko recently passed away, let me know what your feelings on Ditko are. Because you said that the Marvel couldn't be what it was without Kirby. What about Ditko?
You don't have certain elements of Marvel without Kirby, and well, Doctor Strange and especially that Spider guy are pretty darn important. That it's not that character without Ditko. It's absolutely not that character without Ditko. I probably more so than Stan in terms of not just the style, but who the character is as a person. Stan had gotten Kirby to draw a Spider-Man, and the character looked too heroic, too Kirby-esque, and it absolutely was not right to define the character. Ditko defined that character and who the personality of the character had to be through the sheer look. Now, Ditko as a person seemed to be a bit reclusive, a bit paranoid. Man, was he right-wing.
Real quick, before I don't want to interrupt you on that, there's a Facebook page called Steve Ditko Letters. I don't know if you've seen that or not. It's different letters that he sent to fans over the years.
Okay.
And everybody who wrote him a letter got a letter back.
Oh, wow.
And what I've found, because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, I'm a huge Ditko fan, the thing that I found while looking at these letters was how multidimensional he was and how his attitude towards fans changed, how his attitudes because there were letters from the 60s and stuff he gave away to fans for free, drawings that he did. And it's really a real fascinating look. And for your next book, you might want to think about Steve Ditko and psychology.
Well, then we're talking about a real person.
Here we are. Well, depending on how you want to look at him.
I still want to do Spider-Man sometime. It's in terms of the real human beings, we don't know as much about them as we do the fictional characters, honestly. I've never seen Steve Ditko's personal thought bubbles. I've seen Spider-Man's thought bubbles. Never seen Steve Ditko in his private moments. He was a rather reclusive guy, but still, even if he weren't. but we've never seen the real human beings in ways that we see the fictional characters. And it's not necessarily fair to speculate about a real person, even if they're gone. Not necessarily fair to the people in their lives, the people who are still around. And of course, if you're dealing with a living person, they can sue you. I once made a comment during a panel that, and Bruce Wayne can't sue me. And Len Wein, a comic book writer, said, now I wouldn't put it past Bruce to be able to anyway, even though he's fictional.
Well, he can do just about anything.
He's Batman.
He is. All right, thanks so much, Dr.
Sure, thanks,
Travis.
Scott.
Thanks, bye.